What is atheism? An atheist philosophy of life is based on real-world experience and scientific method, independent of all arbitrary assumptions of authority and creeds. This typically results in additional importance being placed on personal responsibility when dealing with people and nature, as there is no God expected to intervene if things go wrong. Many atheists cite a complete lack of evidence for the existence of gods or other supernatural beings. As well as scientific grounds, atheism can also be based on philosophical, social, or historical reasons. However, there is no ideology or set of behaviors to which all atheists adhere. What about agnosticism? Atheism can be compared with agnosticism, which holds that the existence of God cannot be logically proved or disproved. The primary difference between atheism and agnosticism lies largely in the continuum between belief and knowledge. There are varying degrees of atheism and agnosticism. Both atheism and agnosticism are sometimes described as having weak and strong versions. Weak agnosticism. I don't have knowledge of a God. Strong agnosticism. It is not possible for anyone to have knowledge of a God. Weak atheism. I withhold belief in gods, pending convincing evidence. Strong atheism. There is already significant evidence to be certain that gods do not exist. These terms are really just for clarity, and many individuals would hold a position somewhere in between any of the two above, or a variation of one of the other. A fundamental problem with religion is there is no universally accepted definition of God. For the three Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, the term God typically refers to a supreme being who created the universe and possesses every possible perfection. Traditional beliefs usually ascribe to God various supernatural powers. The problem for creationists and supporters of intelligent design is that the assertion of a supernatural God is untestable. This means that the truth of any statements about this God are indeterminate, and therefore without scientific meaning. That is one reason that atheists are against intelligent design being taught in science and classes. To further complicate matters, descriptions of God's priorities and actions are often taken as literally true by some believers, but as merely metaphorical descriptions by others. The rules for which parts of religious texts can be taken literally or metaphorically are never made clear. Atheists generally find literal descriptions of God untrue and metaphorical descriptions meaningless in real-world terms. Most people are raised believing in God, so the very idea of them abandoning this imaginary being is often frightening. It can be psychologically difficult to become an atheist due to the repetitive religious indoctrination over many years. There can also be strong social and family pressures against questioning the group's beliefs too deeply. And believers often wrongly represent atheists as inherently sinful and immoral, which, like so many other regularly repeated religious dogmas, can easily be shown to be entirely false based on real-world evidence. Some people think that atheists believe that we are all just a bunch of atoms and that there is no such thing as morality. This means that we can all do whatever depravity we like. Morality is about living fairly in a society and treating other people with care and respect. The most atheist societies, as in Scandinavia, are very moral with low rates of teen pregnancy, abortion, and divorce. Basic human morality is actually innate. So here are some criticisms of atheism. Assessments of its validity. The fool has said in his heart, "There is no God." Psalms 14:1 and 53:1. Calling a person a fool does not make them so. The degree of foolishness purely depends on the weight of evidence for or against a stated opinion. There is zero evidence for the existence of God and massive evidence against it. People who've experienced God know that God exists. But if so, which God? People of all religions, as well as atheists with no religion, may sometimes experience transcendental moments. This simply shows the power of the brain to generate strong emotions, sensations, and even hallucinations. This, combined with pre-existing expectations, set the stage for religious experiences of every sort. Internal experiences can certainly feel incredibly profound and have powerful, long-lasting effects, but are not evidence of God. Atheists are just as dogmatic as theists, because atheism is based on assumptions, which makes it just another religion, requiring convincing evidence for something before believing it is not an assumption. This is purely rational common sense. It is dogmatic to insist something exists for which there is no evidence and mountains of evidence against it. Unlike religion, atheism has no script, dogmatic creed, or sacred text to follow. Most people who become atheists do so through their own thinking and investigation. So to sum it all up, atheism is all about understanding and appreciating the universe as it truly is, rather than how we fantasize it to be. We use science and real-world evidence to inform and guide us.